This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julianne Wrigley.
It's John Rawls who proposes a different way of thinking about justice and fairness in his book, A Theory of Justice. Difficult book, but really well worth the effort. A Theory of Justice. He says we should stop asking about the greatest good for the greatest number and instead consider what sort of decisions we would make for ourselves if we didn't know who and what and where we were going to be born. What if we didn't know whether we were going to be male or female? What if we didn't know whether we were going to be black? There's a thought. What if we didn't know whether we were going to be rich or poor? What if we didn't know whether we were going to be in the US or Mexico? What if we didn't know any of that? What decisions would we make in the absence of that knowledge? And he calls this position the original position. He says we should make decisions from behind what he calls a veil of ignorance about what all of these things might be that we now know because we are in being now. He said if we make decisions from that veil of ignorance point of view, we would be behaving justly and fairly, not utilitarian. We would be behaving justly. And so my question is, from behind that veil of ignorance, would it be acceptable to pollute? Would it be acceptable to poison? Would it be acceptable to extinguish lives and livelihoods? Of course not. So we have to begin to educate for fairness and not merely expedience. We have to begin to create students who will enter the workplace and citizens who will speak in the larger public domain to issues of sustainability when they see them. And that requires courage, what I was saying to my colleagues at the law school yesterday. It requires courage and the language of virtue, something that academics too often have been uncomfortable with because it isn't neutral. To talk about courage and to talk about virtue are normative ideas. And we are most comfortable with procedures, but procedures don't always lead to the right result. At least not for that configuration that I'm talking about. Sustainability will require us to confront disparities that exist because of our history and deliberate public policy decisions that were made to sacrifice certain groups and communities.
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.